Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to chapter 2, working on this guy here. That is our F-15C 148 scale by Great Wall Hobby. We'll get the intro going, we'll get started, okay? Okay guys, so we are on chapter 2. We're going to continue working on this guy. We have our cockpit sort of half assembled. I will make a note right off the bat. Somebody called me out, and one of my viewers noticed that the Quinta Studio set that I bought for this thing actually comes with seatbelt stuff. So it's got seatbelt stuff, but of course I received the message after I had gone on eBay and Amazon and looked for some seatbelts for the F-15, and I ordered myself an Edward set of seatbelts, and I wound up actually ordering myself a new seat, an ejector seat. It's a quick boost resin seat that has all the nice belts and everything all molded in already, and so I ordered that. That's going to come next week. So then I was looking at the seat belts that actually come with this Quinta Studio. Let me just change the camera so you can see it a little bit better. We'll deal with these first, okay? So Quinta Studio, of course, comes with all these nice little bits to detail up the rear part of the computer system. You get all these nice ones that go on the display and everything. But we got our seat belts that are going to go on here too. Okay, so that's that. So if I look at this is the one for the seat. I'm going to take these out of the bag so I don't get the glare from the bag staring at you. Let's get this out of here. Okay, so we look at these. Make sure my hands do this. Okay, so we've got some nice detail, but the problem that I see with these seat belts is they're all just totally straight. And I'm sorry, let's flip it around so it's the correct way. I don't think that looks all that realistic at all. And so the fact that you can't really bend and fold these, because these are not photo etch, you can't really bend and fold them around. I think if you were to try, yeah, they have a little bit of flex. Yeah, sure, you can flex them a little bit, but I don't think you could really get these flexed and bent to be like realistic seat belts very good at all. The detail for the seat cushion is pretty cool. I could put that on, or at least it goes like this. I could put the seat cushions on, but I'm not feeling it. Not with this. So I'm gonna wait until my quick boost seat comes in and my Edward seat belts, and we're just gonna hold off on the seat for now. Okay, the seat would go in right here. Okay, right in there. It's going to sit just like that, and that's how the seats would sit. Okay, I did find it a bit tricky to get it in between these rails. There's some, I guess, little rivet detail that's right along this edge here on both sides, and I wound up having to shave them off flush in order to fit in between the two rails, because it was actually taking the rails and spreading them apart to try and get the seat in there, and was not allowing the seat to go all the way down into the little channel. It's got these little tabs here on the bottom, there and there on each side, okay, and they're supposed to go in to these little notches right here and here. Okay, that's where those tabs go. And because of the resistance I was getting on the railing, it wasn't letting it go down all the way and fit into those little slots. So trimming these little tabs off they had in there, which you're not going to see anyway because they're actually literally in the railing, that allowed me to get that lined up, and that goes in just like that. Okay, I did have the control stick glued in, and then found out it is really close to the seat, and with the tolerance and getting the seat in there, I had to take it out. So that's out. So that's our seat. We have this. I have another piece I need to glue in back there, so let's take a look at this. We need to get C29 off of our sprue and get it put in right back there. Okay, as you can tell, I've primered this thing. I primered just everything yesterday. So off of our C tree, I also did some painting on our landing gear base and stuff like that. I did a lot of white painting today. So I need C29, which is this one here. Notice there's another one over here. It looks almost identical. That's number 41. But the instructions are calling out for number 29, so that's the one we're going to use. I have a feeling that Great Wall Hobbies is using a lot of the same sprues for their different versions of the F-15. So I think they actually make like an F-15B as well, the B version. Don't quote me on that, I don't remember. They definitely make the E, because that's the one I built before, and when I made my Korean F-15 from the ROKAF, the F-15. F-15K, when I built that one. So this is going to go on. So these little tabs here are going to face forward. Okay, so there's two little notches. Camera, you might be able to see it, you might not. There's a little notch right there on the maybe if I get in the right there, you can see this one here. Little notch right there. And that's where those are going to go. At least that's where it looks anyway. Let's do a little test fit. It looks like, is it supposed to go flush? Yeah, it sits like that. Okay, see that there? That's how it's going to sit. Okay. This is interesting. I am seeing this is a little more detailed even than the Tamiya kit. Tamiya doesn't make you do this. I believe this details might be part of the seat actually on the Tamiya kit. Make sure we've got it all glued nicely so that it stays there forever and ever. I actually have to lift it up a little bit here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's in. Okay, just like that. Is that the right size for a Lego man pilot? I don't have any Legos around. I don't think you'd be able to get a Lego man in there. I think they might be a little too wide. Okay, so there we go. That's in. Okay, so that was something I needed to get in there. So now we're going to deal with our instrument. Okay, we got this guy here. Now this came with the Quinta Studios set. Now that's another thing I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to have to shave all of this off nice and smooth. Okay? Because these things need a nice smooth surface to stick down on. Okay? That means all of the nice detail that Great Wall Hobbies has gone to all the trouble in sculpting for us, all that detail there on our panels, that's going to go away. Okay, we got to get rid of that. So what I like to do to get rid of it, the fastest way and easiest, is to get a metal file and just file it down. We only need to file away what we're going to be replacing. Okay, so we can get an idea of of what we need to do by taking this out of here. Now you can cut these away, cut around these if you want. Basically, I got to get a little container of water, some warm water, and that's what we're going to dip these in, because these are what, again, they call 3D decals. Okay? So this one here, this guy here, he's going to go over on this side. I'm going to take a look at my reference here. My page, this page that I took out of it doesn't actually show me these panels. It shows the rear. Oh yeah, it does right here. I need to pay more attention. They show it going all the way back to this little box. So this panel right here, this whole panel, we just got to get that shaved down smooth. You don't have to go crazy with it, but we want it smooth. We want it flat. We want a nice flat surface for the decal to stick to. That is the main thing. Now, in the past, what I've done with these is I use CA glue to get the decals down. The last airplane I built, I didn't use CA glue, I used PVA glue, which is also known as, you know, white Elmer's glue, wood glue, that kind of stuff. So I've got that now. Pretty much all the detail is gone. I don't need to take it right down flush, but you can if you want, but you don't have to. It's not imperative. You can leave that raised up that 0.5 millimeter or whatever it is. But if you're really concerned about things not fitting properly, because they are a 3D decal, so they are raised, I have had a little bit of fitment problems with 3D decals when it comes to putting the different instrumentation. Like, say you go to put this on and it's supposed to go down over top of one or something like that, and because of the thickness of the 3D, maybe they don't fit properly right here, and it's a little bit difficult, right? Because you're going to have a decal here and you're going to have a decal on this surface, right? So those have to line up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Yeah. That's an old term a lot of you younger guys probably never even heard. Okay, so our next one, this side, is going to be this one with this big notch taken out for our, I believe that's the throttle control right there. So we've got a big notch for that. But it is going to go all the way back to the wall and go to there. So we don't want to get rid of our throttle control, so we want to keep that. So we want to just be careful and go around that. And file this down smooth. I'll go one section at a time. Actually, for this part here at the back, because I've got the railing, I'm going to grab an X-Acto and just kind of shave this off here. This. Just because I can't really, it's a little hard to get in there with my file. There we go. Nice, and shave that off nicely. Okay. Nice thing I like about this particular file is all the edges are rough, so I can use any edge I want to file. That helps. Okay, let's do this side. Get this edge. Get this file down, shave down, whatever you want to say. Basically, as long as it's down and flat and flush, that's what we're looking for. Okay, one final part is in front of our throttle control. Let's get that shape down, filed down smooth too. Almost there. I think I got that good where I need it. I'll do a little bit more here. If it starts to look like just one big flat panel, then I know I've really removed all that detail. I've done my job. That's looking pretty good, I think. Very close to being very, very flush, very flat and even here. We need to do a little bit more on this side here. But that looks pretty good. Okay, good enough. Let's grab a toothbrush and just clean that out. Just help get in those little grooves and get any crap out of there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to get some water, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to grab some water.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Alright, so we've got some water, and so I'm going to be able to take my decals. And as tempting as it is just to put the whole sheet in, I'm going to err on the side of caution here, and let's just do a couple at a time. Okay, so let's cut out these two. We've got this little guy here, which I'm not sure. I'm going to have to reference. That is number 15, this tiny guy. Where does 15 go? 15 goes on the display at the top, okay. But we just want our two. Get this guy out of here. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to do this. I'm just wanting to be a little bit careful with them. So they say this is just like decals. It's a regular decals. So let's put it in there, let the water remove it from the paper. Okay. And there's our other side. Okay. Okay. Now, these are all for the rear part. We're going to do those another time. So, we actually have a lot of tiny, tiny little guys. But for our instrument panel here, I want number 4 and 3 and 1 and 2. Yeah. Do I want 7? Yeah, I want 7 and 8. And I need 21. 21 is just a tiny little doink. It's a little doink. I don't need 13 or 14. Oh yeah, I do need 14. 14 is this little guy. Wow, we got a couple of little tiny details that we're going to be using. But all these guys along here I don't need. So I'm just going to kind of cut around a few of these while I'm waiting for that in the water. There we go. Where does 16 go? Is that 16? Yeah, that's 16. 16 goes up top there, so I need that. So I need these two also. Gonna need those. Put these aside. Let's check here. Oh yeah. All done. There's the paper. And here's our decal. It's actually flimsy. That is weird. It's flimsy. So put that there. Let that dry. Dab that down. Now these are not adhesive. Okay, there's no stickiness on these. We need to use glue to stick this down. So what glue do we use? Well, like I said, we're going to use PVA glue. I happen to have LePage Carpenter's glue. It's not quite white, but it does dry pretty clear. So that's what I'm going to use. I just need like a piece of cardboard or something. Let's grab, why not? Let's grab this. It's not cardboard, but it's paper. Doesn't matter though. Put a little blob on here. Okay. And I'll use my special unique tool. Dab that in there. And it's going to go in right here. So let's use some glue. Spread that around a little bit. A little dab. You don't need a lot, but you need enough. If you get a little bit sticking out from where you need, that's fine. That's okay. Because like I said, it's going to dry pretty clear. It dries pretty invisible. The advantage of this over CA glue is you can move this around. It's not going to dry instantly. You get a good few minutes before this cures. In fact, while I'm working with this one, let's get this one in the water. Doink. Press down, make sure we got a good solid foundation on that. There we go. Yeah, really. See, a little bit squeezed out through there, but that's fine. Wipe that excess away. And there we go. There is our first instrument panel. That is so much better than I could ever paint, and actually has 3D detail on it. It's gonna look really good once we've got that in the plane. Okay. You can do weathering detail on it. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can even paint it if you want. How are we doing here? Oh, they don't take long to come off the paper at all, do they? Let's get this. Just doink. Just like that. Dry that off. There we go. There's that one. Now you could just do them all at once. I don't think it's going to make any difference, really. A little bit of glue. There we go. Put him down. That. Press them in, squeeze out any excess. There we go. And there's the other one. Just like that. Looks great. Okay. So we'll set this aside because that's done. Start on this guy here. Okay. I think we'll start with the center. Well, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna dip them all in. We're going in. We're going all in, guys. It's not like a regular decal where you're relying on some adhesion to make sure that it's going to work. All you have to do, all you're doing is getting them off of the paper, because you're using glue. The glue is what's going to make them stick. It's not the fact. It's not like a normal deck. Wow, that's actually almost. Already got a couple that came off. Just trying to get the paper out of there. In some ways, these actually do act like regular decals. Okay. Because of the fact that they kind of act like regular decals, I have to be careful that they don't wind up sticking to something I don't want them to. And they do need to be dry. I don't want them wet. This guy is going to threaten. He's threatening to disappear on me. I can feel it. I can feel that he wants to try and hide. This guy right here. Because he's really small. He's going to go right here until it's time to install him. These other guys are going to come off. Got a hair on this one. Interesting. And then we have our big piece. This guy just wants to slide off. Like that. Okay, he actually does feel sticky. He's sticking to my finger. It's a little weird. But there we go. There's all of our pieces, okay? Let's start with the big guy. Big guy's gonna go there. Even comes down the sides a little bit. And goes up into this little channel here. It almost feels like it's rubber. That's what it feels like in my hands. If you wonder why I'm kind of talking like, in 1 minute I'm talking like I know exactly what I'm doing, and the other minute I'm talking like I've never done this before, it's because both are correct. Although I have done this before, I haven't used these particular 3D decals. I've used 3D resin decals before. I'm just making sure it's all nicely put into place. And squished down nice and flush with no air pockets underneath of it. These are nice in that it's really thin. 3D resin decals tend to be a little bit thicker, even if only, you know, a half a millimeter. they are still thicker. I don't want too much on that. This guy goes on this side. Like that. And then we got our other triangular shaped one. It's going to go here. That. Need my picture for reference. Let's pull this out from underneath. Our little tiny guy, this guy over here, he's going to go down into that little spot. It actually goes on top of the main one here. I need to clear the old glue off of my brush and get a little bit, some fresh glue right there. While I'm at it, I'm going to do this next, so some glue on there. And then our big display. Goes down right there. Got a little bit of glue sticking out, so let's see if I can do this. Okay, there we go. Next is a little triangular, sort of triangular piece. Maybe it's called a trapezoid. You have this little shape here. Sometimes it's just necessary to take the glasses off. Get it lined up so it's straight, which is a luxury you don't have if you happen to be using CA glue. If you're using CA glue, you don't have time to mess around with your stuff. The CA sets up and then you're done. Okay, we have this little rectangular piece, which I forget what number it was. I have to figure out where it goes. I do remember seeing where it goes, I just don't know. Because we have these two, 15 and 16, that are going to go up top here. So where does this piece go? Oh, I see. It actually goes in between here. Wow. It goes in between right in here. So I need to now get rid of some excess. And this guy goes right in between the two, like that. Push it down, a little bit of glue oozes out, that is fine. There we go, that's in. 2 more pieces to go. That's these two. These two gotta go on. So in the water they go. She's looking pretty good so far. Come on, focus, there you go. Focus, focus, there you go. Sorta, kinda. Yeah, it's looking good. 2 more pieces to go. And they're already ready to come off the paper. I want to have it right way up, so I'm going to turn them like this. Off you go, off you go. Okay. Make sure they're dry. Okay. A little bit of glue. Right on there. Okay, 1 more. There we go. Where'd my Q-tip go? Let's get rid of the excess glue. There we go. And that's it. There is our instrument panel. Just like that. Let me see. Just like that. Well, how about like this? Okay. Come on, guys. Come on, camera. There you go. Focus, 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 focus. There. There you go. I don't know why the camera keeps hunting for focus. It should. There you go. Okay. That's that. So, that is that piece. That part's done. Okay. Now, they do show for the seat belts putting a couple of pieces together, glue their seat belts together. I guess that gives them some thickness, but I'm not convinced they're going to look realistic, which is why I'm not going to bother with the seat belts. And I'm not really even going to bother with the seat. Okay, with that part done, I could put the instrument panel into the cockpit. Like so. And that's how she's going to look, all nice and done. But we're going to wait, because I'm going to wait until I get the other seat, because the seat has got to go in, and as you can see, that's going to be a tight fit, and I'm going to have to do some testing as far as how the seat fits, so I'm not going to glue this in. My display, this is going to just go off to the side here, and it's going to wait until I get a seat. What we can do is go down to the next step though, and we can assemble our front landing gear bay. So we're going to grab our C tree, and we're going to grab the 4 pieces for our front landing gear bay. Now for the C tree. What do we need? 17, 18, 30, and 31, which is this one and this one and this one and this one. It's pretty easy when they're already painted for me. Let's get these off of here. One more. There we go. Okay. Now it seems like these are going to be pretty simple in how they go together. I say it seems like it, but I actually don't know for sure. I definitely got to get rid of that nub. That's a nasty looking nub. This is on quite a bit of a chamfer here. I might have some fitment issues if I don't clean up my nubs. So nubs need to be clean. Okay, it's always important to clean your nubs. One final piece. Where did he go? There you are. All right. So this one on this side, I think it's a tight fit because I've got it painted. I think if I had assembled these and then painted, I probably wouldn't have a tough time. But these really, that's a really tight fit on there. It's not the end of the world. It does fit. Okay, let's put some glue on that one. Let's move this out of the way. Glue all the way along there. This one on there, if I can. Really tight fit, like crazy tight. Like, doesn't fit, that's how tight it is. It's so tight it doesn't fit. So I'm going to try scraping away some of this paint. In hopes that'll make it fit. Maybe put a bit of a chamfer on the edge. You know, if you get it started, then that's good enough. Scrape away this edge too, just in case. See, it could be the nub that's causing it too. Let's try that. Of course, with the difficulty in getting it in there, this one came off. Snapped. Was this a snap together kit? Come on. That's pretty crazy how tight that fits. Okay, before I glue these, I'm going to try the end piece and see how it fits. Oh, the end piece goes on nice and easy. Okay, there's our bay. There's our bay like Michael Bay. Is it like Michael Bay? No, it's not. Anyway. Glue on this side and there, glue everywhere. Yeah, it's glue everywhere. Okay. There's our landing gear bay. That is now assembled. Okay. And now we can put this onto the bottom of our cockpit. Two big pegs. We're going to line them up. Does not line up. It doesn't line up. It does this way. Let's make sure I got it correct. So it shows the end with the little kind of a, see that little bit of a not straight edge right there? This edge is not straight. They show that on this side, which is this side, which means this is towards the back of the plane. This is the front. Okay, so let's turn this around. So that means it should line up if I do this. And sure enough, it does. I don't know what they've done, but for whatever reason, if I do it like this, it doesn't line up and it won't go together. I don't know why, but you do it this way and suddenly it fits. Suddenly it fits fine when I do that. It's kind of weird, but it works. Okay, I'm going to get my thicker glue instead of my extra thin, so that I can, I'll just put the blob on those two pegs. There, there. Then line them up. There we go. And now I can put some extra thin on it and get in underneath. Get a nice solid mount in there, just like that. Okay. And there we go. We have our landing gear bay attached. Alrighty. So, with that done, we can flip to the next page. As everything is done. Okay. Now what they're showing here, there are actually a couple of different options if you're not doing this. Air conditioning carrier. Yeah, cheap viewers. Yeah, thanks. If you want to do a different version of the plane, you don't have to do this one, because in the kit you have a couple of different options for your instrumentation. They are right here and here. Okay. Now in the instructions here, it's calling out for this one, which is this guy here, which I believe is more of the older version. Okay. This one here is a lot more like the one I've just done. Okay. This one looks a lot more, if I flip it around the right way. Even this one though doesn't look quite as modern. It doesn't have the big display right there. These are both older versions. This one's just like really old. This one's got another radar right there with another radar up at the top. This one just has analog, a lot of analog displays, gauges on this one. This one's got a few more of the digital. Anyway, those are the options you get. Let's flip the page and see what's next. I'm going to have to do this next time, but next is going to be our all the radar boxes. I don't know if it's radar, but all the computer panel, all this stuff here, and on this side. Okay, this side is where they're showing us here. We've got some panels to put on the tops and stuff like that. We're going to do this next time. I see that we've got two options here, and this is what we're doing. If you're building the 104th Fighter Wing, Massachusetts Air National Guard, you're going to do this one. They are very similar. We're going to be using U1 on both and T4 for the top. But if you're doing the 104th, you're doing a T15 on the side here. And if you're doing the 131st Fighter Wing out of Missouri, you don't put the T15 on. And instead, in this empty section, you're going to put a T5 instead of a T3. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter. I am doing this plane in kind of a what-if scenario. The paint scheme I'm going to be doing on this, and with the numbering decals and designations and stuff, it's all going to be fake. Okay, I'm not building this plane to be an actual replica of a real-life F-15 that's actually stationed somewhere. I'm doing my own little what-if with this guy. So I could literally put the T-15 on and the T-4 and then use the T-5 from the other one, and it's not going to matter to me, and I'm not going to know any different, and neither are you, and so it doesn't matter. Speaking of all the little boxes, this is from the 1/32 scale Tamiya kit that I built a while back. I used a full resin cockpit, and that's in that plane back there. But I still built the kit one and painted it up and all that. And so I kind of just have this sitting beside the plane, so you can see what the cockpit looks like without it being in the plane. And I did an okay job on it. It's not. Definitely doesn't look as good as the resin one, but just in case you're curious, that's what it looks like. This is a big version of the F-15 cockpit. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't quite happy with this one. The green on this is not accurate to what the real one does. The green is actually, I'm going to be using this one. This is actually Mr. Color's number 57. Metallic blue green is actually the real color that you would see in that section of an F-15C. When I was building that, I downloaded all kinds of different reference photos for the cockpit colors and layout and stuff like that, so I'll be doing that. referencing my old photos for that. But that's going to be it, guys. This is going to be it for today, and we'll continue on with this stuff next time. And I think in the meantime, I might put my decals on off camera just so that they're done and we don't have to spend so much time with it next time. But if I do that, I've got to paint all this green first. So I'm going to have to decide what I got to do. What's going to be the priority? Painting this up or putting the decals on or assembly or what? So I'm going to have to figure this out. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you again for watching. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, please, and check out the description box. You're going to see some links for my Twitch and my Instagram and stuff like that. Every time I finish a build, I upload some pictures to my Instagram, and you can watch me on Twitch if you feel like. If you follow me, you'll get notified when I'm live. You could come on here and talk to me if you feel like it. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you again, and we'll see you all on the next one.